Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start this lesson. The title is Inequalities in the Graphs. So, an equation is a mathematical statement that uses an equal sign to show that two expressions have the same value. Now, we're not going to cover equations. What we're going to talk about today is inequalities. So what an inequality is, it's a mathematical sentence that uses the inequality symbol to compare the values of the two expressions. So, some of the inequality symbols, like the equality symbols is equal, equality, equal, term, equal to, and when you're graphing, you will do a solid line when it's equal, a solid circle, my bad. The inequality symbols is less than, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, or not equal to. This is in words, less than, greater than, so forth and so on. Now, if it's less than, when we graph it on a number line, it will look like this, going to the left, open circle. Why? Because it doesn't have the little line in the bottom, so that means it's not equal. So these right here, they're not equal, but look at this one. It's a solid circle because of this little line right here. This little line tells us that this is going to be a solid circle because that means we're including that value. Okay. Not equal would be a point going left. I mean, you would select a point that is not equal to and just shade to the left and to the right. But we're really not going to touch a lot on those. In addition to, there's some rule that we're going to talk about, but as we go, the rule is this. Remember, when you multiply or divide by a negative, reverse the sign of the inequality. So these are inequalities right here. These are inequalities. Well, reverse means like to flip them. So instead of less than, it would be greater than. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. So, I'm going to cover a way to solve this manually. And you're going to notice it's going to take actually more time to solve it the other way. But the reason I'm going to do it that way is so you have more appreciation when you guys solve it the way I'm going to solve it right now. So whenever you want to solve an inequality, guys, we need to find out when they're equal. So therefore, we're going to treat it like an equation. And we're going to go ahead and just solve the equation. This is a two-step equation. We get rid of the number farthest away. In this case, it would be 3. How do we get rid of it? Minus 3, minus 3. This cancels. And we have 4a is equal to 7. We want to solve for a. So we divide by 4 because we're multiplying. We divide. So a is equal to 7 fourths or 1.75 if my calculations are correct. Now, what do we do now? Well, I'm going to graph it. It's 1.75, so I'm going to say this is 0, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. Well, 0.75 is where? Like right here, 1.75 is right here. So, because this is greater than or equal to, not only is this going to be a circle here, it's going to be a solid circle. And because it's greater, using this, greater, we're going to shade to the right. So, there it is. This is, we're done. This is in algebraically, and this is the way we do it graphically. Now, technically, what we're supposed to do is once we're done, we go back and replace the sign. So, it would be A is greater than or equal to 1.75. Okay, next one. Next example would be right here. Okay, so once again, once you see this, what do? Oh, Mr. Carrillo said that we need to find out when they're equal, so then we're going to treat it like an equation. So I'm going to rewrite it as 5 times 2, negative 2x plus 5 is equal to 25 minus 10x. How do we get rid of the parentheses? Well, we get rid of the parentheses by multiplying the distributive property. So 5 times negative 2 is negative 10x. 5 times 5 is 25 equals 25 minus 10x. Okay, Then what do? Well, let's move the variables to one side and the numbers, the constants, to the other. So I'm going to go plus 10x plus 10x. You're going to notice something. Wait a minute. This cancels. This cancels. Then what do? Rewrite it. 25. Bring my inequality symbol. And then now I'm going to check. Is this a true statement? Is 25 less than or equal to 25? No. So guess what? Because it's a false statement. It's a false statement. Because 25 is not less. The answer here is no solution. Okay. So I want you guys to try number 2 and number 3. Just keep an eye on number 2, number 3. Keep an eye because you're gonna have to use this rule on one of them or maybe both of them. So just do 2 and 3, and then come in, show me when you're done. Now, don't worry about 5 and 6. We're gonna go ahead and move on to the back part. Now, on the back part, we have 1 and 2. I want you guys to also do those 1 and 2. Okay, now look at this one. They're talking about inequalities with special solutions, so watch out with that. And then once you solve it, don't forget to graph. Okay? Don't forget to graph it. Now I'm gonna go ahead and do number 1 here. Number 1 here says write inequality represented by the graph. Okay, so here we have a solid circle going to the left. If you use the notes that I gave you in the front, then I would say I'm just going to call it X. X is what? We're going to the left. It's going to be less than. How do I know if it's equal to? Is that a solid circle? Yes. So it's equal. Equal what? 4. And there it is. That's all you have to do on those. Okay, so keep an eye on that one. That is a solid circle. So we put the little line under the inequality. The less than sign. All right. So I want you to go ahead and do 1, 2, and then also do 2 here. Do the same thing. So I'm giving you examples so you guys can do it. Now, we're going to write inequalities from words, like in a word problem. So let's go ahead and do it. Just look at the signs, like the less than sign. When they're talking about less than, is some of the vocabulary that you have here. Less than or equal to, this is the vocabulary. Greater than, and so forth, so on. So let's get started. It says use the sign shown. Okay. So they want us to use, just be careful. They want us to use this sign. Look, the gasoline is $2.09 and the car wash is $8. That's what I'm reading because it says here use the sign. So a gas station charges 10 cents less per gallon of gasoline if a customer gets a car wash. What possible amounts in gallons of gasoline that you can buy if you get a car wash? But look at this, and spend at most $20. At most. You go up here, where is at most? At most is this. At most means it's going to be less than or equal to. In other words, you can spend $20, but you cannot spend $21 because it's at most. You can spend less than $20. Okay. So, keyword is at most. This is how much I'm going to spend, or less. Now, it's kind of tricky because they're saying 10 cents. So they want us to find the inequality. Well, it should be common sense. In order to buy the gasoline, I would have to pay for the gasoline plus the car wash. So I'm probably going to add the $8. So instead of using the 209, I'm going to go 209 minus the 10 cents. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and go 209 minus 10 cents should be 1.99. I'm going to use G for gallons. So this is the number of gallons times the price per gallon plus $8. Because that's how much the car wash is going to cost me. And it's going to be what? At most. So it's going to be less than or equal to $20. Then we solve it. Minus 8 minus 8. You're going to divide 12 divided by 1.99. So that comes out to approximately 6 gallons. It's going to be a decimal. So you would get $6, 6 gallons if you, including the car wash, if you would spend $20 At most $20. That's how much number of gallons you would purchase. Okay. Now, you guys are going to go ahead and do number 2. And it's very similar. Look at the keywords. And I'm going to go ahead and do number 3. Alright, let me see if I can get this real quick so I can go ahead and finish. 3. It says 4 more than 3 times a number. 4 more. Be careful, guys, because you see 4 more and you automatically think we start with a 4. No. 4 more. Well, in order to find out what 4 more is, it's 3 times the number. So it's going to be, some of the keywords is more than. Okay. More than. Okay. So 4 more times 3 times the number is greater than 19. So 3 times the number plus 4 is greater than 19. And there it is. Now we go ahead and solve it. How do you know, Mr. Carrillo? 4 more. This is 4 more than this. Than who? Than 3 times the number. 3 times a number is greater than 19. How do you solve it? Minus 4 divided by 3. The answer should be x is greater than 5. You want to graph it because this is saying equal to. So let's just say this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open circle. Greater is to the right. And we shade over here. I could have done a better job, but and that's it, guys. I was trying to take less. All right. Good luck.